Majesty. Majesty, wake up. It's almost time for you to go to the stables. Remember, I know it's been a long sleep and you looked so tired, but you need to visit the Elven Kingdom today. And in order to do that, you need to go to the stables and get your dragon. But you still look so tired. Here, let me help you up. There we go. Now that you're sitting up, you can keep your eyes closed for a few minutes. Let me get the body brush. It should help you wake up. There. I'll just do nice, gentle strokes, starting at the base of your neck, going down each arm, carefully stroking to wake up all the sensors in your skin. I'll go down your chest and stomach, all the way down your legs, brushing out all the worries of the day to come, and waking up all the cells in your body, getting the blood flow, and waking you up, slowly becoming more vigorous with each brush, with each stroke, invigorating you and getting you ready for the day. Stroking down, starting at the top of your body, working my way down to your toes. This soft, bristly body brush. And now I'll brush your hair. You can still keep your eyes closed. Start getting you ready before you're even completely awake yet. Brush your hair back off your face. Give you space to breathe. Your Majesty, it is a brisk morning, so while I brush your hair, why don't you take a few deep breaths of the morning air? There's nothing like cool, clean air to revitalize your lungs and wake you up. Majesty, I'm going to get a tub of water so you can wash your face. Here. It's a little bit cool to help you wake up, but not too cold. It should be comfortable. I'll need you to open your eyes for this one. Your Majesty, this tub right over here. You can wash your face in this. Your hair is all brushed, your body is woken up with the body brush, face washed. I'll leave you to get into some riding clothes, and then we'll head out for the stables. You ready, Majesty? Alright, well, let's go out to the stable. It's quite a long walk from here, but I'll brief you along the way about what to expect when we get there. It's even chillier out here than it was in the castle. Alright, so I know you're very familiar with all of this, but since we have such a nice long walk on the way, I'm going to rebrief you about dragons, the the various classifications and types. Once we get to the stable, I'll go over each one individually because, well, as the ruler of Faerieland, you have a wide selection. So dragons, or at least your particular group of dragons, are divided into 4 classes. Firstly, there is the basic class. These are divided into colors and are mostly classified by the type of material or substance they breathe. The second class is the metallic class, and as you might guess, the metallic classes are designated by their skin, so what type of metal comprises their skin. The third class of dragon is the elemental class. The elemental class are affiliated with various elements such as earth, water, fire, air. The final class is the imperial class. These are the 3 national dragons of your kingdom. Only you are permitted to ride these, and they are largely used for ceremonial purposes, such as parades and visits to other kingdoms such as these. However, today's visit is not as formal as some others, so you have the option of any dragon class you choose. To go over it a little more specifically, each class is accustomed and used to and best used for certain types of voyages and certain types of tasks, I guess. The basic class is the most well-rounded. They can be used for voyaging, battle, search and rescue, absolutely anything you can think of a basic class can do. Their specialties are very subtle and are only seen at the dragon level as opposed to the class level. The metallic dragons are generally specified for battle use, given their tough skin and generally warlike nature. However, battle dragons are also used for ceremonial functions, such as parades after a military victory, or perhaps they can be used for simple show, particularly those of precious metals. The elemental class is used for battling and voyaging equally, and like the basic class, they are more specialized at the dragon level. For example, if you wanted to go underwater, you would not ride a fire dragon to do so. It is the terrain that specializes these dragons. Finally, the imperial class is used almost strictly for ceremonial functions. Since these are the national treasures of your people, you don't want to send them into battle and get them killed. So, these ones are strictly reserved for things like parades and royal functions. You can almost see the stables in the distance. Look how far away your castle already is. The stables naturally have to be far removed from the city itself because of the nature of its inhabitants. Dragons, although tamed by your best trainers, are still largely wild creatures, And if one were to ever decide he didn't like civilization anymore, it would be quite the hazard to have them close to your people. Hence the long walk, Majesty. But I hope you've enjoyed this little informative account. And here we are. The stable master will lead you to the stables, but don't worry, I'll come with you and go over each dragon individually so that you can have a basis for your selection for today's journey. Your first option, Majesty, is the red dragon. Red dragons are bold, majestic creatures, often horned. They're very muscular and strong, suited for long voyages and lengthy battles. As the redness suggests, they are of the fire-breathing variety in the basic class. They look the most like lizards, with their horns, almost beards and manes, as well as the spikes over their wings and tail. This dragon is wild, but ready to do anything with all of its energy. Your second option is the blue dragon. Blue dragons are also of the basic class. However, they are much more delicate and bird-like compared to their more lizard-like red dragon cousins. The blue dragon scales are much more smooth, and they fit together almost like plate armor. We need to get a special saddle out for you to ride a blue dragon, because for one thing, with their scales fitting together so closely, there's less of a space for you to sit. They're very slippery in comparison. Also, because they are of a frost-breathing nature, they tend to be a little bit cooler than their fire-breathing cousins. However, they are much lovelier to look at. As opposed to horns, they have almost wing-like extensions above their brows, and as opposed to the leathery wings of the red dragon, their wings have an almost butterfly-like quality. Also, you're less likely to get pricked by the many spikes of a red dragon, as blue dragons are very, very smooth. Your third option, Majesty, is a yellow dragon. Yellow dragons are by far the most majestic of the basic class. Their wingspan is immense, and they can go for long distances in much shorter time than the other two of the basic class, or the other three as well, but certainly more than the other two we've already covered. They seem to be almost a hybrid between the red and blue dragon types, as they are spiky, but these spikes are long and elegant. The yellow dragon breathes almost a type of acid and photon together. It's like they breathe light, but in terms of battle, the light reacts very much in the same way to acid. These are usually used when battling Scourge of the Undead. However, they make a very majestic steed as well. The yellow dragon is a very smooth ride and one of the most beautiful and calm of the the four types of basic class dragon. It is by far the most tame. Your fourth selection, finishing off the basic class, is the green dragon. Green dragons are the smallest of the dragons, but they are also quirky and unique in their own way. Their wings are very similar to a red dragon's. However, they aren't as strong looking. They have a more delicate feature to them, almost like a bat's wings, tend to become more fragile and fade out toward the extremities. They have a muzzled or a rounded nose, which is different compared to most of the pointier-nosed cousins in the basic class, and their tail expands at the end, which is also a unique feature to green dragons. Green dragons spit pure acid. What's nice about this is they're neither hot nor cold to sit on, they're just a comfortable temperature when riding. Green dragons are very pleasant and playful, and they are always going to make your ride an entertaining one. Your fifth option, Majesty, is the first among the metallic class of dragons. This is a gold dragon. It's almost hard to look at in the direct sun, as it reflects so much light and shines so brightly. This is a truly majestic steed, worthy of the ruler of Faerieland. In terms of appearance and structure, a gold dragon is very similar to a red dragon. Instead of the red, leathery scales, however, bright, shining gold scales fit together like plate mail, perfectly shining in the light on this beautiful dragon. It's highly muscular and also rigid and very, very disciplined, so whatever you command this dragon to do, it will do instantaneously and without any kind of resistance. This dragon is trained for battle, and so it's used to following every command as if its life depended on it. The gold dragon is at once an elegant and dependable ride. Your next option is the silver dragon, second dragon in the metallic class. The silver dragon is very similar to the blue dragon, just as the gold dragon is similar to the red. This metallic class dragon is more streamlined than its gold cousins. In that sense, it is close to blue. Its spikes, however, have flesh between them and can bend, which means that the silver dragon is much easier to sit on and ride astride than the gold dragon. Silver dragons are largely used for scouting and other stealth maneuvers because of their natural tendency to blend into the sky and also their streamlined appearance. Silver dragons, although just as dependable as a gold dragon, tend to be a bit more tricksy than their gold dragon counterparts because of the nature of their work. However, they are just as elegant with their more fragile wings and their aerodynamic and very elegant appearance. A silver dragon would be an equally good steed for this particular voyage. Your final option from the metallic class dragons is the muscular bronze dragon. If you imagine the silver dragons to be the stealth operatives and the gold dragons to be the flaming captains of the army, the bronze dragons are the cavalry and the infantry. These are the brute force in the military, as you can tell by their strong, fierce, heavily armored appearance. Bronze dragons are ridden when you want to make a statement of the strength of your country in comparison to another. They are aggressive and the most untamed of the metallic class. However, they are extraordinarily loyal and dependable. Any situation that arises, if you are on a bronze dragon, you will be safe. Nothing can touch these brutes of the sky, and they can also enfold you with their armored wings. As you've noticed, most dragon wings are either leathery or fragile. They are largely unprotected. The bronze dragon has the unique ability of having armored wings that they can fold their rider in, so that if something were to attack the rider, the bronze wings could deflect it. I don't know if you're expecting an attack today, Majesty, but if you want to feel on the safe side, a bronze dragon is certainly the way to go. Next in line is the fire dragon of the elemental class. The fire dragon is very similar to the red dragon, but instead of spikes, it has pure flames. Now you'll notice that your current riding gear is inadequate to ride elemental dragons, but you needn't worry, as we have all the necessary equipment to keep you safe and allow you to have an enjoyable ride atop these beautiful beasts. The fire dragon is very smooth, which is a characteristic of the elemental dragons as a class, because although it is most similar to the red dragon in terms of appearance, with spikes made of fire, there's none of this pointiness and difficulty in saddling it. Fire dragons will also keep you very warm, so anytime you're going to a cold country, or if it's a cold day, a fire dragon will ensure that you can resist any temperature below 0. The fire dragon is by nature fiery in temperament as well, so you need to have a firm hand when riding a fire dragon. However, there's just something about fire dragons that's like riding a shooting star, a ball of fire across the sky. It's always an exhilarating experience. Your next selection is the water dragon. Water dragons are very unique by nature and in appearance. Their wings are more like fins, which makes sense as they are largely an underwater type dragon. In order for the dragon to fly through the air, they must be doused in a special kind of, it almost looks like a powder, but it has the property that lightens the dragon and makes the bone density of the dragon grow light, so that they are light enough to fly through the air on their limited wing power. Generally, however, water dragons are used for underwater voyages. In any case, the water dragon is beautiful and streamlined. It's almost like riding a piece of silk, a ribbon of silk. They're incredibly flexible and can coil around anything they choose. They are delicate and beautiful, a symbol of the beauty of our country and of our seas. Water dragons are used mostly for underwater operations in terms of military use, and used for visiting the underwater kingdoms of the merfolk. However, if you want to ride something beautiful and elegant beyond description, they can also be used for over to water and over earth, essentially air voyages as well. Next in the elemental class is the air dragon. Air dragons are like a more muscular breed of water dragon. They are unique in the sense that they do not have wings. Their power is to control the air around them, as opposed to using wings to fly. This allows the air dragon to move incredibly quickly as they control the currents around their body. They, like the water dragons, are very streamlined and can go incredibly fast. I cannot stress how quickly you can move on an air dragon. They are horned like the red dragon, but their spikes, like the gold dragon, have flesh between them, which makes them bendable and easier to saddle than the red dragon. The air dragon is elegant, but it is also a trickster. It loves doing loop-de-loops in the air and incredible acrobatic tricks while flying. So if you want a very exciting and entertaining ride, an air dragon is certainly the way to go. Rounding out the I just spoiled the surprise. Rounding out the elemental class class is the Earth Dragon. The Earth Dragon is, by nature, most comfortable on the ground. But, like the Water Dragon, the powder can be used to enable it to fly. The Earth Dragon, like the earth it represents, has a quiet, majestic beauty. Its scales are only in appearance wooden, but are actually much more similar to stone. This can have a downside and an upside. A downside, it's very cold when you first sit on it, but it warms up as the ride goes, and eventually you won't want to get off. You'll be so comfortable. The Earth Dragon is very calm and does not really have a fiery temperament, unlike many of its other cousins. The Earth Dragon is dependable and moves a little bit slower than the others, but it is very careful and cautious, and you'll never be startled or worried on an Earth Dragon. You will safely get to wherever you need to go. With your next option begins the final class of dragons, the Imperial class. This is the Iridescent Dragon. Riding this is like riding a rainbow. Its brightness and color represents all the various peoples who live in your country, in your nation, your kingdom. Its angelic wings differ from all the other dragons in the sense that they are feathered and glorious to behold. This dragon is truly a bright and shining statement about your land and your people. Because it's used for ceremonial purposes, this dragon is used to making flourishes as it flies, and it always wears a proud expression. This dragon is really a statement. If you want to ride this dragon today, be prepared for crowds of people awed by your presence in amongst them. The Iridescent Dragon has to be one of the most beautiful options you have today. Next in the Imperial Dragon class is the Crystal Dragon, also known as the Prism Dragon. The Crystal Dragon is like a more elegant cousin of the Iridescent Dragon. It is streamlined and smooth, and its spikes act like prisms in the light, so you get this multicolored reflection. Instead of a shadow, it's like your shadow is a rainbow as you fly. The Crystal Dragon is also used to parades, however, and ceremonial functions. That being said, it's a little less flamboyant, a little less in your face than the Iridescent Dragon. It embodies the upper class of your peoples and the majesty of the palace. The Crystal Dragon, however, still will attract crowds just because of its beauty and incredible elegance as it soars through the air. The Crystal Dragon is a smooth ride, but you still have to be prepared for its flourishes, and as always, that proud expression it wears on its visage. Your final option is the national treasure of your nation, the Fairy Dragon. The Fairy Dragon is unique among the ceremonial dragons in the sense that it does have a history of being used for battle. The Fairy Dragon is the dragon of magic. It can use, I wouldn't call them spells, but it can manipulate all the elements around it and pluck the webs of magic that encompass and surround all the kingdoms. Thus, the merry dragon, it is a merry dragon, but the Fairy Dragon is at once practical and splendid. Its wings are very much like your own in terms of consistency and color. All of its spikes, although it has a history of being used for battle, are ceremonial now with the flesh enabling them to bend. The fairy dragon is colorful like the iridescent dragon and delicate like the crystal dragon, making it a perfect hybrid, a combination of everything all the other dragons represent. There is a reason why this is the national treasure, and in riding this beauty, everyone will know that you are the ruler of Faerieland. So, Your Majesty, out of all these dragons, which one do you want to ride? Alright, let's get you outfitted. The stable hand will prepare the dragon of your choice. Do you need help with that? No, you got it? Alright, Your Majesty, let's get you on. Don't worry, I'll ride with you the whole way. You don't have to be scared. Alright, I guess it's time for me to get on. Okay. Now, we're gonna walk out of the stable, and then once we get there, I'm gonna count to 3. And on 3, you can tug on the reins, and the dragon will go into the sky. Okay. Oh, watch your head. Dragons are awfully big, and as large as the stable is to accommodate them, we still have to watch our heads when we're riding them. Oh, that brisk air. It feels so nice. Alright, let's ride off into the sunrise. Are you ready, Majesty? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Majesty, isn't it exhilarating? Riding a dragon. Oh, even though I've accompanied you on many trips such as these, it's still always so amazing to ride a dragon. It's something one of us servants can hardly imagine. Something so exciting. Oh, and the world is so beautiful from up here. Look, Majesty, you can see your palace. Look how quickly it's fading into the distance. Travel by dragon is certainly one of the most efficient in the 9 kingdoms. Look, you can see all the divisions between the kingdoms as well. Over there in the distance you can see the mountains of the Dwarven Lords. And to your right, you can see the oceans, and underneath is the Mer Kingdom. And you see way over there, those are the forests of the Elven Kingdom. That's where we're headed today, Majesty. In fact, I haven't really briefed you much on what we're going to do. The major part of our visit, as part of our tours of the kingdoms, is to visit the Elven Palace. There you will meet the Elven King, who is hosting a banquet in your honor. So, a lot more of that elven bread, that wonderful, delicious elven bread, is on its way. We're also going to walk through the cities and take a flying tour of the country, or of the capital city of the elves. We'll kind of take a flying tour of the country just by flying over it. Oh my goodness, we're already almost there. It's amazing how quickly dragons can fly. The Elven City, or rather the Elven capital, is like a giant spire and waterfall emerging from the forest. See, you can start to see it now. At the very top of the spire is the Elven Castle. The Elven City is ruled over by the Elven King who lives in that castle. Also, the Elven Castle serves as a kind of reservoir. You can start to see the waterfalls coming out of the castle. From this castle, all the drinking water of the Elven Kingdom is supplied. This represents the centrality of the Elven monarchy within the kingdom. It represents how the monarchy must always strive to provide for its people and it's an ideal the elves hold very highly. The architecture of the Elven Kingdom is largely based on the forest, and so it has tall spires and decorated largely by floral motifs. Everything is rounded and it's meant to connect with nature as opposed to being separate from it. So as you walk through and as we fly over it, you'll see buildings that almost look like trees, but then you'll notice the elves wandering through them, and you'll realize what they actually are. It's really quite spectacular to behold. Look, if you look down, you can kind of see it now. That little patch over there that looks like the forest's canopy, it's actually one of the major elven cities, a trading center. And there's the capital. Now the palace is in full view, and the spire. It's one of the few capital cities that's built on the mountain, so this is one of the many reasons we went by dragon today. We'll actually land at the palace, as opposed to having to climb up the mountain, which would take a lot of effort and time. There. Alright, the dragon's ready to land. We're just above the castle now. So, on the count of 3, pull on those reins again, and we'll drop down. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Whew. I never do get used to the speed of dragon descents. But here come the elven courtiers. They've brought us horses so that we can tour the city. Here, Majesty, let me help you dismount off this dragon. There we go. Now I imagine you can mount a horse yourself after mounting a dragon. Alright, the courtiers will lead us through the city. Apparently the banquet isn't quite ready yet. I guess our dragon was a bit quicker than we anticipated. Oh, but look at the splendor of the city, Majesty. Oh, and take a smell. Oh, there's just nothing like the smell of that elven bread. The capital city is full of bakeries. These are the people who provide the elven bread for all your functions back at the capital city of Faerieland. Oh, and look at the architecture, Lord. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's almost like a garden of mushrooms, but it's a city. And there's waterfalls all streaming from that castle. It's so beautiful. Everything's so green and so lush. And the air just smells like that wonderful bread. It truly is a wonderful kingdom. The Elven Kingdom was actually established on the foundation of this mountain, and it has since spread into the forests surrounding it. The elves, believe it or not, were once mountain dwellers, very much like the dwarves, but as opposed to the dwarves who live inside the mountain, the elves lived on the outside of the mountain. However, as they moved on in their history, they realized that it's very difficult to cultivate plants, and they were having a lot of food shortages, so they eventually moved downward into the surrounding forests. Originally, they were very proficient hunters, but due to their connection with nature, they began to realize that they were overhunting the species, and now you'll find that the large portion, or the majority of the elven population, lives a vegetarian lifestyle in order to preserve the animals around them. Not only did they choose to make this choice, or choose to make this shift in lifestyle for the animals, in order to not overhunt, but they also made this shift so that they could use the animals for other purposes. For example, squirrels and other such small rodents have since been trained to be messengers, and so the Elven Kingdom is renowned for its efficient postal system. not only that, but it simply makes for a more lively community. As you can tell, the elves are very stately and very elegant, but this makes for a rather dry community life. With all the creatures of the forest roaming freely through the cities, it makes for a much more vibrant kingdom. Oh, I still can't help but marvel at this architecture, Majesty. Is your horse comfortable? I know they're not quite as comfy as dragons, are they? But they're much more convenient for riding through the city. Oh my. Here's one of the little squirrels now. Oh, it appears that the banquet is ready. We'll start our ascent back up, and when we get to the palace, I guess we're having an outdoor banquet in the courtyard of the palace. There you'll get to meet the Elven King. Well, I guess not meet him, you've met him before, but remake his acquaintance, we will say. Alright, let's start our ascent back up. Oh, Majesty, look at this beautiful banquet. They have all the fountains going, so there's water everywhere, and you can see the sun starting to set, so it's glittering on the water, makes it look like fountains of gold. And look at all this incredible food. Oh, wow. The elves may be stately, but they sure know how to cook. Just smell all the different kinds of bread. Look, they have a table dedicated entirely to varieties of bread. They've used tons of different herbs, spices, cheeses, and nuts and berries to infuse their creations. They have so much variety. But look, not only that, they've got salads made from the local plants. They even brought in some meat. You know, not all the elves are vegetarian, and there are still some who follow the old ways of the hunter or huntress. And these elves, do have some incredible cuts of meat. Of course, this is game as opposed to the herds of the dwarves. But oh, just look at it all and smell it. This is incredible. Majesty, you can take your seat at the Elven King's side. Look, up there. I'll go with you. I'll be on your left. Oh, Majesty, look. They've even brought in the juices from the orchards of your kingdom as a little bit of home. How thoughtful. Oh, wow, and look at these desserts. Ice creams, shaved ice, pies, cakes, rice pudding, other kinds of pudding. Majesty, there are some things that even I'm not familiar with, and all kinds of ethnic elven delicacies. Oh my goodness, Majesty, what would you like to eat first? There is the bread table, the beverage table, which is of course from our orchards. There is the game meat table, and there is finally the table of local herbs and salads. Oh, and lest we forget the dessert table. I'll go get all those things for you. I'll be right back. There, a full plate for the ruler of Faerieland. Oh, I can have some too. Alright, I'll go get my plate. And then let's eat. It's been a long day. Oh, everything tastes so good, Majesty. Oh, it's so wonderful. I'm so thankful that I can accompany you on these tours. It's always so nice to get to see the world, even though I'm not a ruler like you. Oh, and watch, the elves are performing one of their native dances. They're so... the only word I can use is elegant. The way they fly through the air and catch one another and twirl and spin. The colors they wear are like the colors of autumn. They look like leaves swirling. They're surrounding the head table. It's like the dance of the leaves in autumn, twirling and swirling around us. Breeze is coming from them as the red and yellow, brown and green dance and twirl around us. Majesty? Oh, you're awake. You fell asleep in the middle of the dance. It's all right. The Elven King understands. You're on the dragon now. We're just getting ready to lift off. You're secure. Don't worry. We'll get you home and you can have a nice bath before going to sleep in a real bed this time. For now, you can just look down. As we lift off, you can see all the twinkling lights of the Elven City at night. Just because they're in tune with nature doesn't mean they can't have a beautiful light show for their ruler as you fly away. Millions of fireflies floating through the forest, dancing for you. And as we know, the dance of the elves seems to put you to sleep. It really is quite beautiful. All of nature joining together in celebration of your visit, a nighttime spectacle for their sleepy ruler. You can rest on this dragon ride. I'll try to hold the reins and make the ride as smooth as possible so that you can rest on the way back home. I don't know about you, but I always find the way back doesn't take as long. So we'll be there before you know it. Just rest. Close your eyes and breathe in the sweet night air. Cleanse your body as you prepare to go to sleep at home. Looks like you fell asleep again, Majesty. The dragon dropped us off, and the stable hand flew him back home. You're in your bathroom, the royal bathroom now, in your marble bath. I'm not the only one here with us, as you can feel, I'm sure. The servants washing your hair, cleansing your body. Close your eyes, Majesty. Fitful sleep won't do you any good. If you keep waking up like this, you won't have much of a rest before you go to the Mer Kingdom tomorrow. The water's warm and soothing. It's the perfect temperature for you, just how you like it. Milk has been added to the water, silkening your skin. It feels soft against you. These servants have been trained in the arts of massotherapy and in the simple joys of a spa. So let their delicate fingertips do the working for you. Close your eyes and bask in the glory of a relaxing bath before bed. Let yourself feel weightless in the water, buoyant and resplendent. You can almost feel your skin getting softer and softer with every gentle touch of the servants scrubbing and massaging you. With every second you stay in that glorious silky bath, all the tension flows away with all the dirt from the ride. You are clean, pure, and precious to your people. And something that precious needs rest to be at their best for everything that you do for us. You are a great ruler, and a great ruler needs equally great times to be away from that job, and this is one of those times. Let us take care of you, Majesty, as you reign over us. Just close your eyes and sleep. We'll make sure you get to